In this video, we're going to talk about what types of MPTs you could possibly see on your bar exam. So if you're taking the bar or you're preparing to take the bar, you may wonder what types of MPTs, and MPT stands for multi-state performance test, you may see show up on your bar exam. Here, we're going to break down the different types of MPTs that you may expect. We have a really handy-dandy frequency chart that shows you how often different types of MPT tasks are tested. So I'm going to start with the most highly tested task, the objective memo. So the odds are in the objective memo's favor that you will see this show up in some way on your bar exam. An objective memo, remember, is objective. Usually you are writing some sort of memo to your boss talking about a legal issue. So again, you're not advocating for a client, but instead you're talking about all sides of the issue so that your boss, for instance, could better direct a client on an issue. The next most highly tested task is the persuasive brief. And unlike the objective memo, the persuasive brief is persuasive. And usually you're submitting it to your boss, who's going to submit it to the court, or you're simply submitting it to the court. You're trying to get the court to take your client's side or to do something that you want them to do. This too is very highly tested, so it's best that you are familiar with this type of task as well, because the likelihood of you seeing something like this is quite high. Letters, specifically turning to an opinion letter. Opinion letters are usually tested with some sort of persuasive task, like a persuasive brief, for instance. And opinion letters are usually objective. You're usually writing it to your client, kind of walking them through some sort of legal issue. So this is why the National Conference of Bar Examiners likes to test opinion letters with another persuasive task to see if you can also write persuasively as well. Moving on to the next type of letter, a demand letter. So unlike an opinion letter, a demand letter is usually tested with an objective task. And this is because a demand letter is persuasive. You're trying to get your reader to do what you want them to do. So the National Conference of Bar Examiners oftentimes likes to couple this with something objective so they can see that you can write objectively as well. There are as well other tasks that you might see on your MPT. We like to call these odd tasks or wildcard tasks. And as you can see, these are things like closing arguments, drafting portions of a complaint, some sort of early dispute resolution statement, redraft provisions of a contract, bench memos, and leave behind memos. So here you can tell by the frequency chart, these guys are not that frequently tested. In other words, you don't see that these types of things are tested over and over and over again, but it is really helpful to be familiar with them so that you know exactly what to do when you're faced with an odd task. It also helps for anxiety and stress management to know that you've tried your hand at these odd tasks or wildcard tasks, so to speak. So that covers the different types of MPTs that you can see on your bar exam. Again, use this frequency chart as your aid to help guide you in your preparation for the bar exam. Make sure that you're familiar with these highly tested tasks, and of course, try your hand at some of the odd or wildcard tasks as well. That is going to put you in the best position possible to pass this exam. Best of luck.